Okay, I'm currently on a one of these flash tour buses that you often read about.
Oh, yeah, it's luxurious, right?
And I'm with Mike from Vista Chino.
That's right.
And not only that, you were once with the legendary Corrosion of Conformity.
It's true. Yeah.
So we have a real musical legend. So thanks for taking your time out for
Musical legend, is that's code for like old dude?
No, it just means something that's transcended. I mean, I'm an old dude myself, so...
Oh.
So, let's cut straight to the chase. How did you end up with kind of Vista Chino, or the wreckage of Kyuss?
Well, they were going through bass players, kind of the way I'm going through bass amps on this tour, and I had met Brant Bjork before a number of times when he was in Fu Manchu, touring with Corrosion of Conformity and Monster Magnet and Machine Head, Clutch, etc. And so he was trying to solve that dilemma: who could be available in 2 weeks' time to learn a lot of Kyuss songs and a couple of new Vista Chino songs and to play in Australia. And he thought to try me, and I thought it over for almost 2 minutes and said, yeah, all right. So just been doing it ever since. I'm trying to make the schedule work out to keep on doing it. I got a Corrosion of Conformity record we're in the middle of making as well, so it's a little difficult, but right now it's full on.
How do you manage that? Because Corrosion of Conformity is still a very much ongoing thing. You're in the middle of a world tour with Vista Chino. Does that involve a lot of air travel or MP3 files and local recording studios, or?
Well, your question is an excellent one. I haven't entirely resolved. I'm out touring with Vista Chino a lot. Corrosion of Conformity has done a couple things. Done Latin America this year and been in the studio. So, basically I'm just going to have to return to North Carolina and sing about 8 songs in a couple weeks' time and mix the record. But I feel pretty good about it. And, it's a good problem to have.
It is. It is. So how's the tour going? Because how long into it are you now? Because you've just done part of Europe, then you're back in the UK, you're going back to Europe again.
Yeah, it's going well. We started off in Finland and got see a little snow on the ground and get our feet underneath us. We hadn't played for a few weeks. But yeah, the shows have been really good, particularly in Hamburg and Helsinki and enjoyed Manchester the other night. So I feel like we're starting to mesh as we do a few weeks into the tour, and it's good fun.
Well, so what's next? Because you're back to Europe, and then you're off to the States, or?
Yeah, Vista Chino I think is gonna take a few weeks off for Christmas and come back in January to Australia, play the big day out. Which should be interesting, and I'll be there. In the interim, I'm going to be tracking some vocals for CSV. Most of the other tracking is done, and I'm going to mix the record. And
any idea when that's out?
No, we have to. So early next year at some point.
Right. So, talking about the new Vista Chino album, did you play on the album or
only on one track?
What one's that?
That's track 4, As You Wish.
Ah, right. Okay, I'll make sure I'll play that one on the show interview.
Yeah, well, it's not really something that there's much opportunity to stretch out on too much. It's kind of set as what it is, so it's a bit of accompanist type of playing.
Yeah.
But I like the song a lot, and now the way that song's developed live, we stretch out on it quite a bit, and I think their record is a lot. The songs on the record are a lot like other people's songs. You come up with these creations prior to making a record, and then by the time you actually get out and play them live, they really evolve, and you almost wish that you performed them a number of times before you committed them to recording.
No, it's a very, very strong album. Yeah. Do you and the rest of the guys see it as a continuation of Kyuss, or is it or is this kind of like a brand new start?
That's an interesting question. I mean, to see the reviewers tell it, it could be very strong. They feel very strongly one way or the other. But I think it's a little bit of both. I think that basically the whole Kyuss catalog, the whole Kyuss legacy was just kind of sitting there, and I think John, the vocalist, really wanted to pick it up and did the Garcia Plays Kyuss, etc. And at one point they were playing a festival in Europe. I think it was probably Hellfest or something a couple of years ago, and Brant Bjork and the Bros were playing, and Nick Oliveri happened to be there, and so they all sort of reunited on an impromptu basis to play a couple songs, and that's how Kyuss Lives was formed. And so this is really a continuation of that. Their whole lawsuit situation, I think, sort of was a kick in the ass to really accelerate the rate at which it becomes a whole new entity. But it did, it has its roots in Kyuss, and there's a whole lot of new ideas coming into it. There's Bruno Fevri's input, big time, and there's just all the life and musical experiences these guys have been through in the last 25 years or so that are really kind of coming into play, and they're making music that reflects who they are now.
I mean, I'll say, because the lawsuit, from a from the fans' point of view, not only with Kyuss but with other kind of bands, like I can think of Hawkwind and Wishbone Ash are two of my favourite bands, that sort of thing. Do you find this whole kind of, suing and fighting over the name kind of,
it's off-putting
it's off-putting as a musician, that's what I'm looking for.
It's totally off-putting, but before one is put off as a fan, it might be interesting to investigate what the origin of these contests are, and I'm probably speaking beyond my direct experience and my pay grade here, but in this situation I just really see it as these guys were kind of doing what I felt they had a right to do, and someone came along just to squash that opportunity and kill that dream.
It's 2 or 3 against 1, isn't it?
Yeah. So I don't understand what that was all about. It was a completely unnecessary lawsuit, and really just a sort of a cowardly bully type move by somebody with a lot of resources. But I'm kind of on the outside, so I'm speaking beyond my
sometimes it's good to be a musician. Just sit back and play.
That's the bass player's professional opinion of that. So take that for what it's worth.
Okay, now it's really hard to describe the sound of the new album. So I've not seen you guys yet. I'm about to do that in about an hour or two's time. But you've been I won't say tarred with the epithet, but lumped in with the stoner rock movement at the moment, which is again where where Kyuss were coming from years ago. Now I've noticed that over the last couple of months, there seems to have been, in my inbox, I've had loads of really good new kind of, and old bands as well, from like Monster Magnet's new album, right through to your support band tonight, in that kind of classic stoner kind of thing coming through. Do you think this is a kind of, a return to that kind of thing as a music scene? Are people getting bored with new metal and thrash and hardcore?
Somebody's always getting bored with something. I thought Kyuss was a very innovative band, especially at the time, but sort of what they were tapping into is a very timeless thing, and that's why it endures. And I think that the examples you cited, like the new Monster Magnet and some other things like that, what they're doing that makes it successful is they're having a new take, a new rendition of something that's a little bit timeless, and carrying that forward in a new way, and I think that's what makes bands like this artistically successful. I'm not going to talk about commercially successful. I have no idea about that, but yeah, you have to. I think it's a timeless, that kind of heavy rock, sort of hypnotic thing is a Sabbath-inspired thing, etc. I think it's something timeless that just resonates with people, new generations.
Well, I suppose
you gets the old people out if they can get a babysitter or whatever. So it's
and if it gets the young kids listening to Atomic Grocer and Black Sabbath, then all the better. Yep.
Indeed.
Right. So Where can you see Vista Chino going over the next 2, 3, 5, 10 years? Is it could you see it? Because there's a lot of impetus, a lot of good things sort of vibe around the album and that at the moment.
Oh yeah, no, I see these guys with a lot of different musical directions kind of evolving at the same time. And Bruno's just such a unique musician. He's got a lot of ideas, and Brant, it's just really creative. I mean, part of what's kind of happening now is there's a real, without being complicated or inaccessible, there's kind of a little bit of a jazz vibe, like a repetitive take on jazz, just rhythmically looking backward into some of the creative kind of styles of the, hard bop and things like that, and taking that into a rock context, breaking it down, simplifying it enough to where it works at high volume, and to where it works with it has room for an awesome John Garcia vocal.
Yeah.
And I think that's where some of the songs that especially Brant came up with, on the record on Peace. I think that's part of the direction. I mean, of that, and right now we're just kind of doing some structured compositions, and where at certain points there's an opportunity to stretch out a little bit and improvise just a little bit and take the chance of falling on our face just a little bit. And I think when that works, it's more exciting, and the people really respond to it because they know we're going out on a limb and it could all fall apart.
So you think you could go as far as Between the Buried and Me when they had put the Trioscapes Pure Jazz spin-off project together? You could see anything like that coming out?
I hadn't heard that, but I hope it's better than Between the Buried and Me.
My father is a massive jazz fan. He doesn't like Between the Buried and Me, but he loves that Trioscapes album.
Well, that's good, because Between the Buried and Me, I noticed that they have a technical prowess about them, but their music didn't really speak to me as it jumps between emotional extremes. And
I think that's the problem with the math rock in general, isn't it? It tends to be a bit sterile.
Yeah. I mean, it has to be. Yeah, when you're changing tempos like that, it has to be kind of preordained and orchestrated in advance. And it's not all bad, but that's not my.
You're bad. Okay.
I do recognize their skill.
Don't get me wrong. I mean, as a musician and a DJ myself, I like the gent stuff for the technical ability, but I do tend to find it a bit soulless.
Yeah. I'll have to.
But check out the Trioscapes album. It is well worth having a listen to. Yeah. But anyway, I know you've got a gig to get ready to.
Oh yeah.
I want
that.
and I do definitely want to catch your support band. So, thank you for your time, and all the best of the gig. And hopefully I'll catch you next time you're back in town.
Thank you, brother.